Hey, how's it going? We're going to be making a video, and you're going to be watching it as I make it. I'm going to have this banana nut muffin. Hey, how's it going? How's your day? I've just been kind of busy. Um, Let me show you. So there's my muffin thing. I got to wipe this from that burger last night. I wiped it once or twice, but I got to do it again. You know what that is? There's one of these. Look at how dirty this is. We got to wipe all this down. So there's one of these little roosters in every member of my family's kitchen. It's a Portuguese tradition. It actually dates way back, like the 1300s or something. I don't know. You got to look it up. Portuguese kitchen rooster. Everyone has one of these. This one is made of a little heavy piece of ceramic, and it's hand painted, and it comes from Portugal. Everyone has one. You know what this is? This is old. Uh, this was my mother's, and I really I saw her use it a couple times, but I don't think she used it very often. But you know what this is for? This is for when you're cooking bacon. You're supposed to put this on top, or anything, I guess. It's for cooking things. It's not heavy. I mean, it's a piece of really thin aluminum. It's kind of neat looking, but it's for putting on top of something that's cooking and making it flat. But I think it's mainly made for bacon. That's what it was, to make the bacon flat. That's what it is. It's old, probably from the 50s or 60s. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's get back to this. And then what we're going to do next is that other box of VHS that we didn't do last night. But we're looking at this first. This is the side of the refrigerator. This is last year's calendar, but came from a viewer, a friend Jeff in Arizona. He made this and sent it to me. This frame too is all handmade by Jeff. It's signed by John Goris. It has a John Goris original art piece in it. All these board game stickers. They're not stickers, they're magnets. They're magnets of the actual covers of board games. These came from Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona. Look at the different ones we have. Got Lost in Space, Barnabas Collins, Dark Shadows game. We have Combat. I used to love this show. I still watch this show on YouTube sometimes. And then we have the Planet of the Apes game. Oh, over here there's an Outer Limits. And then this is from the re-up office. I used to have this neighbor, and she worked for the Chronicle, and she used to give me all of the different types of merch or something. I guess if you belonged to some Chronicle club, or I don't know what it was, but they had this special merch that she would give to me. This was back in the days when the Giants couldn't lose a World Series. Look at Timmy Lincecum. Say, here's more of them. Say, this is all from. So she would give me a lot of stuff, like multiple hats that I wear are from her. She had a pet parrot, one of those African grays that was like 50 years old. This is from Jeff, the same guy that made the calendar. This is the classic Land O'Lakes butter. Everybody in my family used to have one of these on their refrigerator, but probably at this point I'm the only one with one. This is my oldest son when he was about 2 or 3. This is a red stripe magnetized bottle opener that comes from Jamaica. I got that when I was in Jamaica. This is also my oldest son. These are some South Park magnets that I made at work. in like a craft class for mentally ill people. Look at this. I found this on the street one day. Isn't this interesting? So this was on the street, this entire thing in San Francisco. Look, it's a magnet and it's connected to this little clear half dome. And then under here is an image that comes from one of those chick tracts. And it's the months of the year and it just says lies. So this was on the sidewalk in my old neighborhood in the outer Sunset near Ocean Beach, where I used to live. This is an old poster. I need to, I need to redo this whole refrigerator because now I have grandchildren that are very artistic, and I have about 3 pieces, and a couple of them are macaroni art, with glue and everything. And some of these magnets are pretty strong. So I'm going to see if I can't put those macaroni, put that macaroni art up. This is a sugar bear, it came out of a box of Super Sugar Crisp, or maybe you had to mail away for it. I don't know. This was a gift from my son to me. It's an old, awesome Remington Jim Beam bottle. Isn't that great? That's the Monster Magnet. Have you guys ever seen the Monster Magnet? So if you've never seen the Monster Magnet before, after you watch this video, or maybe pause it right now if you want, because it's only like 30 seconds long, go find search Monster Magnet commercial, Whammo. See where it says Whammo Monster Magnets? So this thing, they remade this a few times, but this is the original Monster Magnet from like look at the rust on it, from like 1966 or whenever this came out. It's pretty big, right? It's pretty strong. Watch. Let's see if we can open the fridge with it, or the freezer. You can. I mean, it's strong. So that was the freezer. Let's see if we can do the fridge. Oh, not from there. Oh, not the fridge, but the freezer. In the commercial, it shows it picking up a metal chair like that. So this is the Monster Magnet. This is a little teapot. It used to be in my mother's collection. My mother used to have this big teapot collection. Tons and tons of them. She had huge collections of things just like I do. And this one's all dusty. I only got like 2 teapots. Everybody else got all the other ones. I don't mind because I don't have room for teapots. I don't even drink tea. But she called this her meringue teapot. That's why I wanted it, because it looks like it's meringue. The other one I got from her is one that I bought for her in Korea, and so that's why I got that one. And this is also a vase that I bought for her from like the Korean village, made in the old traditional style by hand, and glazed and baked and everything. It's very special. It's got that special stand and everything. Anyway, I sent that home to her, and then she kept it, and then I got it back. This is some Chef Boyardee. So I keep this because I like the branding. I'll probably never eat this beef ravioli. I'm just like keeping the can. It's not opened. But that's an empty box of Crunch Berries. It's just an empty box. And I don't know, I don't like the new Captain Crunch. But I like to see the branding. I like to see Peanut Butter Crunch, even though I don't like how he looks now. Anyway. Let's take one more bite. Let's go do this VHS. This box. Hopefully you had a good day. Come on.
Well, why did you come back to school?
Why not? Art Carney.
Why not?
It's called the Undergraduates. It has Chris Makepeace in it. Sorry. From Meatballs and My Bodyguard. He was very popular when I was a kid. I think he's probably the same age as me or close to it. He was kind of almost a similar archetype to myself when I was young. And I almost kind of identified with him in a way. But he was really a bitch in that Bodyguard movie. but it's okay. He was cool. It also, in Meatballs, he was. I felt, there was like a. You felt like that kid. I did feel like that kid in Meatballs. I really did. Yeah. So Meatballs, yes, definitely. Maybe not my bodyguard because I wouldn't have handled it like that. I guess. Although that Matt Dillon was a tough fucking customer, right? He was fucking with them hard. And Linderman, that was his name, right? Timmy Linderman. I was more him than I was Chris Makepeace. Now that I think of it, because Linderman had a real sad history, right? And that was what I had. So I was already tough. Not like I was a badass or anything, but I didn't take any shit from the beginning. I was pushing people down on the blacktop in like first and second grade and getting in trouble. That was because my dad had just died in a helicopter crash, like kindergarten. So I was totally ready to mix it up with the world. Let's see what we got. I was angry from the get go. All right. So this is another box of VHS. Last night we were going to do those 3 boxes, but I did 2. So now this is going to be the video where we're going to do this box. And this is all VHS tapes that were a part of my family collection for my kids. We watched these all together, some more than others. Ever see this movie? Winner of the Gore Award, 17th Paris Festival. Hang on a second, I'm going to go get the windows. I got to close the windows to cut down the exterior noise. Just look at it. It's a beautiful shot. Hold on. Look at that. Fulci. All right, I hope you're having a good day. Everything's solid. Going well. Let's get into this. Bad taste. I watched this one time. When I bought this, it was sealed. And I think I paid like $1.99 for it. And I unsealed it and watched it. Cool, huh? The Lucio Fulci Collection, widescreen edition. Zombie 3. Blockbuster youth restricted product. Parental permission recommended. Shriek Show. Previewed. Wow, that looks nice from the side, doesn't it? What a great, looks, so this needs to be, this is like a display piece, right? This should be framed or something, shouldn't it? I think it should. Let's get over here. Great movie. We watched this over and over and over. Me and my oldest son particularly, but all 3 of us multiple times, man. This is a foundational educational film for my children. Seriously, I mean, we would pause that movie. Like maybe the first couple times we would watch some of these movies, like that's an example, and maybe Taxi Driver is another one that comes to mind, or maybe Full Metal Jacket. These were teaching moments. I was watching these, I was showing these to like my 12-year-old and my 14-year-old together for the first time they had ever seen this stuff, and introducing it to them. And so I would pause these. Didn't we look at this already? We did. We looked at this last night. Some of this stuff is mixed in from last night. Oh no, I looked at it in the earlier video. I'm tripping. All right. So I would pause these movies. I made this. Look at this. Monster on the Campus, Mighty Joe Young, 13 Ghosts, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. So I would pause in the middle of these movies sometimes and explain to them what was happening. I just didn't let it run free and not explain things. This is nice. One of my daughter-in-laws is a huge Powerpuff Girls fan, so I'll probably give this to her. My favorite Powerpuff Girls is that the Powerpuff Girls for me are reliant upon their villains. I watched this with my kids when it was new and coming out. But I really liked that one villain called Him. Man, that was a creepy, creepy thing. Him. You remember that villain? Scared me. Here's a Tarzan tape that I made. Tarzan finds a son, Tarzan and his mate, Tarzan's magic fountain, and Tarzan's peril. I must have been in a hurry when that is my writing, but I was in a hurry when I did that. And it's pencil. Let's come a little bit more in, and I'm gonna get more comfortable. I'm always like seating myself. I haven't really gotten used to all this too much, so I start videos in uncomfortable positions. I really do. And so I'll be like squatting or something. You can't see, but I'm like doing like a kimchi squat. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah. Look at this. The Japanese horror classic, Return of Daimajin. Colder than ice, unyielding as stone. This is really good. So I have 2 or 3 different Daimajin movies. I think I'm saying it right. Daimajin. I don't know. I'm not sure. I should look it up. So this is really good. This is this guy, man. This is this giant kaiju dude that's like frozen into the side of a mountain, and a big earthquake comes. See, look, and he comes to life. It's an old Japanese legend. He's just like this big giant kaiju dude, and he crushes the huts, man. He crushes their. Ah! I recommend it. Here's another copy of Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is the 15th anniversary. Enter at your own risk. Used to see this every week at the midnight movies with my friends in high school, and we had a lot of fun. The theater where we saw this at was like a freewheeling, wild theater where almost anything goes, or almost anything went in that theater. You know, they used to give like a security briefing before they turned the lights down, but people would start throwing stuff at the guy. So the guy would come running down the aisle. The guy that would give the security briefing before this movie would start would come running down the aisles, and he would have a helmet on. He would wear this helmet that had a police siren on the top of it that spun around a red light, and he would come running down the stage with a microphone. And there was a microphone there. This is an amazing theater. Anyway, he gets on the mic, and he would give this security briefing about serious things, about like don't start an open fire. Don't. What else would he say, man? I don't know. Maybe no glass, but everybody would bring beer into this place. There was like drinking and smoking was happening while he was doing the safety briefing. And then when he was done with the safety briefing and he started going back up the aisles, people would throw stuff at him. You know, cans, empty beer cans or whatever, trash, popcorn. It was a lot of fun, man. It was kind of a wild place, a wild time. It was a mix. It was like the crowd was a mix of young locals, because it was a small place. It was a mix of young locals, like, and then mid-range kind of hipster locals, like older people, like the hippie types, like boomers. And then there was the in-betweeners who were GIs and their dates, because this was near an army base. So then there would be the cool GIs, like groups of them, and then some of them like with girls, and so that made this cool mix of people, and everybody was kind of in the know, right? So you had like 3 different age groups, like high school kids, GIs in their early 20s, and boomers in their 30s and 40s. Blazing Saddles, such a classic movie, man. This movie just turned my school upside down. So like the first Monday back to school after this movie opens and everybody sees it on Saturday night, jeez, there was every kid. I mean, there's so many kids, every grade from like 5th grade. I mean, no 4th graders are like quoting Blazing Saddles, I don't think, but maybe 5th and 6th graders up, man. There's like a kid in every class that is on top of everything and remembers all the best lines. What in the wild world of sports is going on around here? Somebody go back for a shitload of dimes. There's just so many great lines in that. So much funny shit, right? And so the farting scene, everybody was just talking about that. bedtime or Candygram for Mongo, right? That was a big one. Just so much great stuff. Uh, Ma and Pa Kettle at home. So I first got on to Ma and Pa Kettle when I was a kid growing up in the Bay Area. There was a channel 36, the perfect 36, that showed all of the different stuff, movies that I talk about, uh, all on this UHF channel. And I would watch it on the TV in my room that was a black and white TV that was built into a hi-fi set that used to be my parents and used to be like in the family room. But now it's like fucking like 1970 or something when I first learned this. And so there's TVs in every room, and the shittiest one goes to me because I'm the youngest. And so I would watch this, and it's funny. And so I bought them when I would find them and watch them with my kids. I know. What is this? Oh, that's nice. Look at that. It's a clamshell of Batman the movie. That's nice. It's kind of grimy. Everything in here is grimy. It's real dirty. My hands are, I can feel the dirt on all this stuff. That's nice. So it all has to be wiped off and cleaned. That's cool, man, isn't it? I like these things. Here's a DVD set. Bought a lot of these. I don't have a DVD player anymore, but when I get one, I'll be able to watch them all again. This is great. It's the whole Huckleberry Hound Show, Volume 1. I just like the art on these even. Look at how nice this is. I love the cartoons from my childhood, and even before me. Like Huckleberry Hound is kind of a little bit before me. I mean, I knew who he was, but I wasn't watching this show. I wasn't born yet, I don't think. It's so cool though, right? Man, a lot of DVDs in here, huh? Pixie and Dixie, is that who that is over there? All right, goes like this. All right, so let's go right to here. Jumanji. Kids loved Jumanji. This was big when my kids were little, so we watched this a bunch. It's a nice movie. I like this movie. It's pretty good. What's this? Blockbuster Video. You'll love it. Guaranteed. Free Blockbuster favorites. Movie rental. Clearance. $2.99. Oh boy. Whoa, Nelly. So I remember when I got this, and so this was this was a fun one. So this is how I taught my son, my oldest son, about Audie Murphy. This is To Hell and Back, the Audie Murphy story. It's a hard movie to find. It's color. And Audie Murphy stars and he plays himself. And it tells the whole story of his upbringing and how he and his siblings were orphaned, and he did his best to raise his younger siblings. But once he was like 17, and he joined the army, and his younger sister took over, but he sent all of his pay back. But he went from infantry private to, well, you know the story. He became the most highly decorated soldier in World War II, and was field promoted to an officer. He started out as a private and ended up as a first lieutenant. Yeah, great movie. I recommend that. To Hell and Back. What a great story. There's so much great stuff in here. So it shows all the major events where how he received his Congressional Medal of Honor. And there's this scene, this long scene, man. It must be a half hour, 45 minutes long. That's about this farmhouse. So good. What a story that guy had, man. So he went from doing all that stuff to becoming a movie star. He was so popular that he came home and became a movie star. They put him in a bunch of Western movies. Audie Murphy, not Andy Kaufman, but things didn't end up well for Audie Murphy. Okay, he had problems, with alcohol, probably mostly, I think. and then other problems too, and then everything mixed together, man. Uh, yeah. So to hell and back, he didn't make it completely back. Jim Carrey, Man on the Moon. This is how I taught my kids about Andy Kaufman. This was the first thing that they watched that had Andy Kaufman in it. Even though it's not really Andy Kaufman, it's Jim Carrey, but that was enough because it told the whole story. Then after this, I don't know if they're in here, I showed them these other two videos. One of them's called I'm From Hollywood. I Am From Hollywood. That's his, it's a DV, or not DV, it's a video that is his wrestling, him wrestling women wrestlers, him getting beat up by Jerry the King Lawler, etc. And then the other tape, other than I Am From Hollywood, is My Breakfast with Blassie, where him and classy Freddie Blassie, self-professed king of men, they have breakfast at Denny's in Glendale, I think, maybe Burbank. And it's like an hour-long video, VHS. If it's in here, I'll pull it up and show it to you. But you can watch it on YouTube. Anyway, that's how I introduced my kids to Andy Kaufman. Those 3 VHS tapes. Arena, wow, that's one of my favorites, right? Whew. Neat. This is a great show, right? We looked at some of these last night. We've got a pretty good collection of these. I don't seem to have very many of Next Generation. I think I have more. I'm just not finding them. What Are Little Girls Made Of? And Miri. Bonk, bonk on the head. Bonk, bonk, right? Isn't that Miri? Naughty Grumps. Yeah, with Ancient Children with Kim Darby. Oh, look, and there's the one with Richard Kiel. What Are Little Girls Made Of? This is good too, man. They're all so good. I like every one of the episodes of the original series. I could watch any one at any time. This is Ninja Scroll. We discovered this just like this. So we didn't know anything about this anime. I probably found this for $1, and we watched it over and over and over again. I highly recommend this. Ninja Scroll is so good. I think there's a show on Amazon. They like remade this or something into a new show, but this is the original manga or anime movie, not manga. This is the original, and it's the English dubbed version, 94 minutes. Ninja Scroll. We loved The Hills Have Eyes. So I have the other Hills Have Eyes somewhere, and then this is part 2. We watched these, man. The kids really liked these from, I don't know, like 10, 11, 12. They're 2 years apart. And so when they're 10 and 12 is probably when we started watching all this stuff. And then I used to take them to a lot of conventions. I've mentioned that to you before. And so they had already seen The Hills Have Eyes when we started going to conventions. And Michael Berryman, is that his name? He would be at so many, Michael Berryman, we saw him at many, many conventions. And so the kids immediately would recognize him, and they're like, that's the guy from The Hills Have Eyes. And so they were like, pretty flabbergasted by this guy. Like, awesome movies. I love them all. That's a good one too. This is one of my favorite authors, John Steinbeck. I have three favorite authors, and it's hard for me to place them in order, but there's definitely probably a top 2, and one of the top 2 is John Steinbeck. It might go back and forth between him and Kurt Vonnegut Jr. I got this from the Pacifica Library when they would do those, whatever, the culling type sales or something. This was like 50 cents or 25 cents even. This was one of my favorite pictures of Steinbeck. This is when he lived on Cannery Row and was friends with Ed Ricketts. My mom has stories about seeing him when she was a young girl, and Ed Ricketts. This is great. I gotta watch that again. They used to eat at this place called my mother used to eat regularly at this restaurant called the Solarium. It was on the roof of the Holman's department store, which is now a big luxury condo building, but it used to be a giant old school department store. And my mother used, and I ate lunch there a few times with her. She would ask me to meet her there, but when she was a girl and she worked for Lucky Boy Market, she would have lunch all the time at the solarium. And she said that Steinbeck and Ricketts would come in sometimes for sandwiches. Um, and she said that people kind of turned their nose at them a little bit because they were men that had beards. And in like 1939 or whenever this story took place, maybe earlier than that, how old would she be when she was 18? She would have been, she was born in 23, so 33, so no, like 41, like the war, like I guess the war, during the war or before the war, shortly before the war. I don't know. But she said that people kind of frowned at them. They were like the beginning of this sort of artsy beatnik group of people, and they were kind of rough rousers from Cannery Row, and then they were kind of hard charging dudes. And they were in a place, the solarium, where it was kind of these hoity-toity ladies, and it was like a rooftop luncheonette with nothing but glass all surrounding it. So you could, it was all natural lighting, and you could look at nothing but the beautiful blue ocean of Monterey Bay, and you could watch, ships sailing through, and you would sit there and sip your tea and your cucumber sandwiches, but those guys would show up. Young Frankenstein, Equinox, and Conga. This used to be a 90210 tape from my second wife. I recognize this is her 90210. And I crossed it out in rebellion. And I taped Young Frankenstein, and then later I did Equinox and Conga. Here's some more kid clamshells. James and the Giant Peach. I liked this. I really liked this book. When I was a kid, I read all these Roald Dahl books. They were just new coming out, or it seemed like they were just newly being presented to children in the early 1970s. That's when I read this for the first time. It's a good one, but it's kind of creepy, like all Roald Dahl books. It's creepy. There's underlying things there that I think are there for a kid like me that had a difficult upbringing. Like James's situation, right? Remember the situation he's in? So, yeah, there's this, I don't know, I haven't watched a lot of stuff, about, I don't know that much about Roald Dahl, but this is definitely, he was doing something here. Everybody is in tragic or sorrowful circumstances. Not everybody, but typically the main character in these stories, Mr. Fox, everything's fantastic with him, but James, this is a sorrowful, effed up situation he's in, and so, yeah, this is attractive to kids that are having a hard time, that are troubled upbringings, like one or both parents are dead, or they're in jail, or they're addicted to drugs, or they're beating each other up, and you can hear it in your room, or whatever stuff that's happening to little kids that's awful. Yeah, that's what he was getting at, right? I think I'm right. I always think I'm right, but I'm often wrong. This is Casper, Seeing is Believing. This was pretty fun. This was the new Casper movie that came out in like 1996 or 1998. I saw a commercial recently for these toys, for these big squeeze toys that were all for the ghosts, and they were big, like they were like a large. It was like a large toy that looked like it was made of plastic, and you would squeeze it, and it would light up and say sayings from the movie. The Shaggy DA, Suzanne Plachette, wow, and is that Dean Jones? So she was really beautiful, even to me when I was a little kid. Like, when I was like 7 or 6, when she was on the original Bob Newhart show. The one where he plays the psychiatrist, and they live in like a high-rise Chicago apartment, and they don't have kids. She was really attractive and beautiful to me when I was like a little kid. I was like, just the same with Darren and Samantha. I really wanted to just cuck Bob Newhart. I was like, I could easily take her away from him. said 7-year-old me. This is a fun movie. This is good. My whole life wanted a good Tarzan. I'm still waiting. There's been some good ones. I guess my whole life I wanted a great Tarzan movie. Um, Something done right. There's been some really good ones, and there's been some very good ones or whatever, but this is pretty good, man. I enjoyed this. I liked it because it was for the kids, and it was a good way to introduce this character to my kids. And my oldest went on to read a lot of Tarzan books, and so this was probably his first, other than seeing all the books around the house and me talking about it. I guess this cartoon might have been the first time that he, I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't remember. This is Static Shock, the new kid. This was a good cartoon. This is just also, it's just a very, this is the time, man. This was popular. I'm glad we got this. This is a good show. This had a real catchy, fresh face, superhero style. This had a catchy song intro to it. See, look, here's also just the same time frame. And these were probably, where was I getting these? At the time I was buying these new for the kids at places like Walmart or Target. I'm thinking that's where these usually came from. This was a fun one. With remember the end? They're on like a an oil rig. It's exploding, and everything explodes, and Mr. Freeze and Batman fall in the water or something, or Batman just escapes before everything crumbles. He jumps onto the Batplane, and Mr. Freeze is rescued by these two polar bears swimming in the ocean. Oh man, this is a fun movie. So this movie, Matinee, starring John Goodman, is really an homage to the filmmaker William Castle. So they don't use his name. It's all new movies and everything, and it's all made up stuff. But some of it is loosely based on the life of this guy William Castle. Matter of fact, we saw a William Castle movie earlier. 13 Ghosts was William Castle. This guy was the king of the gimmicks. He did all kinds of gimmicky stuff with his movies. This is a fun movie. I'm glad I have that. I forgot I had that. This is a bunch of music. I mean, let's look at it for a second. This is back when I used to actually listen to CDs. These were mostly from my cars or my trucks over the years. Teenage Vice, Shonen Knife, Jimi Hendrix Experience, Weird Al, straight out of Linwood. This is a good one, man. Charlie Pride's Greatest Hits. That's good. Bruce Springsteen, The Wild, the Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle. I really used to like Bruce Springsteen. Here's They Might Be Giants, John Henry. I forget this girl's name. Kelly Rowland. Right? Wow. Mika. Wow, I forgot all about this. Life in Cartoon Motion. I used to like this. So this is also stuff that came from The Purge at Pacifica Library. They would like get rid of music and, oh, this is a great CD. They would get rid of music and books and stuff and then sell them all for 25 cents or 50 cents. And it would all just be right there at the entry. And so I would just, as I'm going in or going out, I would stop and look through everything, man, and buy a few of them. And I ended up really, really liking this music. So I'm going to set this aside so I don't forget and pull it up on YouTube. And this too, this album is called A Date with John Waters. And the idea is that it's songs that John Waters would pick if he were having a date with someone. And they're great. I mean, there's so many good ones. Tonight You Belong to Me, Jet Boy, Jet Girl, Ain't Got No Home. That's that one with the frogman voice from that vampire movie. The kid sings it in the bathtub with the Malamute. I'd love to take orders from you. That's a great one. In Spite of Ourselves, John Prine and Irish Dement. Iris Dement. That's great. All I Can Do. Big Girls Don't Cry. Sometimes I Wish I Had a Gun. That's Mink Stole. Johnny, Are You Queer? That's pretty classic. Hit the Road to Dreamland. If I Knew You Were Coming, I'd have baked a cake and bewildered. Anyway, this is really fun, man. So everything flows, is I guess the idea. When you listen to this, it's like a perfect date album. Like this CD is perfect for a date. It's a great CD. That and Mika we're going to set aside. The Green Arrows. I don't remember this. This has got to be some traditional reggae. Smashing Pumpkins, Zero. Candy Carol, Book of Love. I don't remember this. What is this? I need to take a look some of this stuff up. I don't remember what that is. I like the cover. So here's, what is this, Rome? Is that the name of this record? No, Cosmic Thing. Yeah, it's a huge, huge record in the early 90s. It was giant. It's got all those great songs on it, right? Deadbeat Club, Love Shack, Junebug. I like Topaz and Follow Your Bliss. These two together are great. Like they lead right into each other. That's a great album. Here's the soundtrack to Pulp Fiction, which is also great. You remember all this. This soundtrack is actually quite similar to that Date with John Waters. Has the same kind of flow to it, same style of music. Here's classic. I raised my kids on classic rock. So my kids loved from the beginning Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Hendrix, The Doors. I made them listen to it in the car, and so they loved it. So this is Wish You Were Here. This is Nelly Sweat with a parental advisory sticker on it. Oh, here's some Portuguese music. Here's The Art of Portuguese. It's always hard for me to say this word. Fiado? Fiado? I don't know. I wish Paulo was here. My friend Paulo could just pronounce it right away. And Fiado? Faldo? Faldo? I don't know. But this is that Portuguese music that my aunts and my uncles used to listen to when I was little. And they play them at the festas, at every year at the big festa. This is what you hear. Fado. 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 I don't know. I never say it right. I'm still not saying it right. For discriminating tastes. What's this? Alternative Distribution Alliance CD sampler. I like that cover. He's got a beer can collection. So this was something that kids used to do. These are empty cans of beer that, yeah, presumably, but this is a wall of empty cans of beer that this like 18-year-old kid, if he's that old, has collected over the years. They're empties, and he's saving all these empties, and look how many cool ones there are. Look at that Hamm's in his hand that he's holding. Look at all these old cans. That's great. He's got a Zeppelin t-shirt too. Nice. Who is this? The Danielson family. Wow, what's on here? Gosh, this is a, oh my God, this guy. Daniel, son. So this is a really interesting band. They're all related. They're called Danielson, and the Danielson family. The leader of the band is the oldest brother. He's very eccentric, and they're also they're also Christian. They're a power of love and Christ people, like a whole family. Look how it says punk right here. This isn't really punk, man. This is odd, strange alternative. Look it up on YouTube if you want. Look up Danielson, that trumpet song. Will you on my trumpet? There's a couple songs that there's, what is it called? I don't see it on here. The old battle axe, the Lord's Rest. I'm looking to see if I recognized any of these titles, these songs. Big Baby, I might. Anyway, give it a listen. It's almost like Nina Hagen. All right, if you know that, then that's what it's like. This is more Pumpkins, and this, I just love this stuff, man. This is Pisces Iscariot. So brought my kids up on the Smashing Pumpkins. They were my favorite band for a long time, and kind of still are up there. Monitor this. This is one of those free. That's what a bunch of these are. Here's another monitor. This Carlos Munoz Maverick. I don't remember this. This is probably some jazz guitar. Hey, thanks for hanging out. I'll talk to you next time. Look, it's from the Half Moon Bay Library. If you're new here and you made it all the way to the end of the video and you enjoyed it, like, share, and subscribe for more stuff.